but it's probably worth banning the Pike if you're DCG.
I wonder what DFM are going to first pick.
It couldn't be Smolder, could it? And maybe DCG will take away the Pike.
Surely Ari has raised... Yeah, I was going to say, surely this Ari champion is just more important than the Smolder. I mean, we saw the Smolder get to stacks last game and honestly didn't really achieve anything.
Yeah, this would be a big change of pace for DCG to take the Smolder.
They might just be looking for the same thing again.
It might be the same draft in a different order.
Oh, big.
Yeah. 665 has looked by far the best on Xin. I think Xin has just won every game he's been in.
Yeah.
อันนี้เกม5ส่วนใหญ่เขาจะเริ่มแบนตัวที่ฝั่งตรงข้ามเล่นโหดๆกันแล้วเพราะว่าปกติถ้าเป็นเกมแรกนี่เวลาเขาแบนเขาจะอะไรนะเขาจะแบนตัวที่แบบกว้างๆไงตัวที่แบบเราไม่รู้ว่าตัวโหดอะแต่ว่าพอพวกเกมท้ายๆเกม5อะไรเงี้ยเขาจะเริ่มแบนตัวที่ฝั่งตรงข้ามเล่นดีแล้ว
It's probably going to be answered again with that center pick. Tide looking good on it. Game number 3, maybe faltering, but oh, big!
Yeah, I like the Varus. Yep. Much stronger lane should be coming through for DCG. I think it'll probably be Karma mid at this point, and you can pick something like an Ashe or the Pike yourselves if you're DCG and really torture the Smolder. And this is definitely going to be a comp from DCG that can fight this early game compared to last game. And Smolder might end up being a liability.
Yeah. Rakan banned, Nico banned. Same as last game. Very different drafts though.
Yeah, Nico ban, still predicting this Karma to be a flex maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as likely.
Yeah, I think
I wouldn't hate to see a Bard come through from DCG.
Yeah, Bard or just Pike.
Yeah, Orca looking really good on that champ. Pike ban, so honestly, I'm expecting a Pike. I mean, sorry, a Bard.
Yeah. Yeah, on either team, the Bard looks pretty good to me.
ปกติไพ่นี่ไม่ค่อยเห็นเขาแบนกันในการแข่งนะคุณผู้ฟังถ้าแบนก็คือน่าจะแสดงว่าอีฝั่ง DFM น่าจะเล่นดีมากอะเมื่อเกมที่ผ่านๆมาก็เลยปลิวไป
It's going to be easier to deal with than the Annie.
Oh, of course, DCG, they'll be holding this flex. Cassante again for Taco, possibly. Aatrox maybe even. What does Taco want for himself up in that top lane? Renekton, I like it.
Yeah. Looks very good on the Renekton.
Always has.
And just probably going to be a Gragas in response by Ray Farkey. Kind of what you want still in the top lane if you're DFM. Just Ray Farkey not going to have prio, but is going to be fine weak side top.
Maybe
Or
Cassante.
maybe he's decided the Cassante after Taco had his way with him on the Cassante.
Absolutely.
Decided to get some revenge in the top lane.
Now, support to come.
แต่ว่าเคซันเต้นี่คือโดนปรับสกิลนี่หลายรอบแล้วนะคุณผู้ฟังแต่ว่ามันเหมือนเขาเรียกว่าอะไรนะโบเพเยอร์ก็ยังนิยมหยิบอะ
I mean
ถ้าเป็นช่วงแรกๆคือเคซันเต้คือถ้ามันเข้าถึงตัวใครก็คือยังไงหนีไม่รอดอะเขาก็เลยปรับใหม่มาแบบให้มันเขาเรียกว่าอะไรนะ
for D
ทำให้คนที่เวลาโดนเข้าถึงตัวมีโอกาสหนีมากขึ้นเหมือนกับรถทำแบบอะไรนะปรับให้สกิลมันแบบเอนเกจแบบไม่โหดเหมือนเดิมอะแต่ก็ยังเห็นโปรเพลเยอร์หยิบเรื่อยๆนะเคซันเต้
Hot lane now for Udapon and Harp. So much pressure coming out. Arya at least, he's looking happy. He's got his hands on that Arya again.
Yeah, it's gonna be maybe okay for the Smolder, honestly. He really doesn't mind being shoved in, and Heimerdinger guarantees you are gonna be perma-shoving this wave.
Yeah, being shoved in as a Smolder, especially once you get to that 25 stacks, means it's much harder to...
ให้เมอร์ซับนี่มันจะออกแนวถ้าเกิดฝั่งตรงข้ามล้วงแล้วไม่ตายอ่ะก็คือฝั่งที่ล้วงก็จะตายเอง เพราะว่าป้อมปืนมันแรงมาก
Winning team in the history of the region up against DCG, who have become a force to be reckoned with, taking down names such as PSG. It really is all coming down to this. We've had a long night. These players have to be getting tired by this point.
Yeah, after a long pause as well, they're in deep now. Here, much later than anyone would have expected. Exhausting games as well. Just about every game going to Seoul.
Yeah, so much
A
going
Baron
on.
or two.
And this game, I mean, DCG have put together the early game comp of all time, so you do expect them to be looking for those dragons. It's been a win condition for them throughout the series.
Yeah.
And one more time will we see them with their attempt of punishing this Smolder. They've left it open the entire series. They've had a plan. They've tried to execute it. It's looked good a lot of the time. It's looked not so good a couple of the times.
Yeah, and again, pressure's on DCG to pressure early, and DFM have to find a way to survive the early game. More tools, I think, than the Orianna Nocturne. When you have the Ahri Viego, you have a much better time doing something proactive to keep yourself in these fights in the early game. And both junglers responded to the Xin with the V.
เดี๋ยวว่าบาดเจอไฮเมอร์ดิงเจอน่าจะต่างคนต่างฟาร์มนะ
DCG want to split the map again? Maybe not, though, because 665 is on the top side this time.
Yeah. And Chris Carter on the Karma this time against the Ahri means that he should feel a lot more safe.
เพราะว่าแบบเอ็นเกียร์ไม่ได้โหดเลยขนาดนั้น ยกเว้นว่าเลเวล 6 อาจจะต้องดูอีกรอบหนึ่ง
The game.
Yeah, it's hard to dive the Cassante. I don't think you really do. Maybe. If somehow Taco's able to chip away at his health bar and get him to the point where you can look for the dive, then I wouldn't be too surprised to see it, but honestly, I don't think you're really going to find that much headway in the lane.
Yeah, very strong weak side champ, right?
Yeah.
Probably will be a giveaway how hard Taco decides to trade. It could just be Xin pathing to the bot side.
Not a whole lot. I mean, bot lane, honestly, this is just 3 lanes of prio.
Yeah.
For DFM. I mean, DCG even.
Yeah, as expected, such a strong early game.
Yeah.
Yeah, DFM have their work cut out for them, especially Steel. If he's gonna have to find a way to have some impact in
Taco.
this game.
Oh my golly gosh, that is a big trade.
Yeah, this dive looking more and more possible.
เหมือนคู่ไฮเมอร์กดนะ
Yeah, now Ward's coming down. Taco is going to be able to find out that this blue buff has been taken, so should give the rest of the team a fair idea of the location of Steel.
Yeah, Arya much needed dodge on the Mantra Q. And yeah, we're seeing the Bard, as expected, is just spamming his heal under his tower. Yudapon holding on to his second skill point just to see if there will be any diving shenanigans.
Yeah, and he does this game have the cleanse.
And I think this is the first game he's not getting dived on the first cannon wave under his tower.
Oh, last game he didn't because they hooked tight under tower and just killed him.
Oh, right, yeah. Ray Farkey.
Oh, yeah, Taco having a very good time for himself up here. Ray Farkey has been able to get himself the CS, but...
Yeah, and it seems that is enough in this matchup. Once you've got the Bramble Vest and the Iceborne Gauntlet,
yeah,
you actually have...
เหมือนคู่ไฮเมอร์กดยับๆอ่ะ CS เริ่มนำแล้ว
matchup, actually solo kill Ray Farkey, so...
Yeah.
We'll see if this game can be the opposite way around as well. We have seen Chris Carter and Arya trade matchups and both receive solo kills on the opposite side.
Yeah. Wow, the CS sucks for Yudapon.
Oh yeah, this is such a hard lane. Orca even getting very, very deep there. But there's no real threat of a dive until 665 makes his way down. And Arya has found himself extremely low on health.
มันเลนกลางก็โดนกดอ่ะหรือเปล่า
Always feels good to have just a little bit more gold on your first recall that Chris Carter was able to pick up for himself.
Yeah, extra 10 CS on this back. We'll see if it amounts to anything.
Yeah, this just CS leads across the map here, and DFM are going to have to find some way to weather the storm, but I think DCG, they've got all the cards, at least for the early stage of the game. Dragon spawning in 25 minutes. You do expect for them to look for something hard with the Magical Journey. Going to land the slow onto Orca on the Heimerdinger. It does force out that flash, but it's going to be answered by Steel, who does land the root as well. With with that exhaust, going to confirm the first blood. And once again, 2 games in a row now, Udapon picking up the first blood on the Smolder.
Yeah, well played by Steel. I wasn't sure he was going to be able to get that kill, but the slow from the exhaust actually ensures it. And Harp is going to be able to freeze this lane for his ADC. Oh, he might be leaving too early, though.
Yeah,
Tide a little scared to walk up.
As you would be. Now, this Cassante does not have mana, does not have flash, and 665 is in the area, but it looks like he's just going to be content with these Void Grubs.
Yeah, when you have this much early pressure, the Void Grubs gain much more value, because you're going to be hitting these towers a lot. We're going to see this magical journey. Steel delays his jump through the journey, not wanting to get stunned along with his Bard if Heimer does throw the E. And nice flash from Steel here. And he gives the kill over to Udapon. I think it might have been more useful than Steel, but more useful on Steel
than
Udapon.
They're happy, as you would be.
Yeah, you should be happy. These games seem to be decided so heavily by the early game leads.
Yeah, I want to say these games have almost always been decided by mid lane, but we're looking for a dive top. Dominus is available. All Out is also available, but Ray Farkey doesn't even get the chance to do it. And all of a sudden, Taco and 65, they're finding success up in the top lane. That's 2 plates now going down. Ray Farkey does have teleport available for him.
ถ้าไม่นับเลนกลางนี่เหมือน DFM เสียตามทุกเลนเลยนะ
Top lane for the first time, and massive CS lead for Taco now.
Yeah, for sure.
Steel is around, but there's not much to do up here.
Oh.
Yeah, Arya is suffering against the Karma. Maybe seeing why it was banned.
Spirit Rush out, but Charm misses, and Chris Carter, he's 2v1, but Arya has no HP, and there is no real chance for Steel to actually do anything here. Holding one more charge on that Spirit Rush. It's actually Chris Carter who goes aggressive in the 2v1, is not going to be able to find that Mantra Q onto Arya, and with that, the play does dissipate, but it is.
ตอนแรกนึกว่าวีโก้จะใช้สกิลสตันนะหรือว่าใช้ไปแล้วแต่ว่าไอ้นั้นบอกเข้ามาหลบได้
Fingers on the Arya ult saves him. Very risky play from the Karma.
Piercing arrow, Udapon trying to dip and dive, will be able to dodge out of that one, and critical because that would have done a lot of damage with the empoweredness and the
3 stacks
of
light.
โอ้ DCG ได้ทุกอย่างอ่ะ ไอ้นั่นไวกัปก็ได้มังกรก็ได้ DFM น่าจะเหนื่อยอ่ะ
So DCG picking up 3 Void Grubs, and the first dragon going to be traded for some top camps for Steel. He's going to get level 6.
ว่าส่วนใหญ่ถ้าเกิดเกมมันสูสีมันจะแบบโอ้โหป้อมบนนี่เผลอเลเน็กดันแตกนะเนี่ย
Ray Farkey got dived, but
ถ้าส่วนใหญ่มันสูสีไอเวลาฝั่งหนึ่งเอาไว้กับได้อีกฝั่งหนึ่งมันจะได้มังกรอะไรอย่างเงี้ยอันนี้นี่แบบโดนทุกอย่างอะ
Cassante. We'll see if he can have impact, especially once Rylai's comes out on the Heimer. Verisalts are going to be flying at the Cassante too.
Yeah, and 65 with so much priority is just able to walk into this jungle and take it for himself.
Harp trying to bait out the Verisalt there, I think, so he can magical journey away. And 30 CS down now on the Smolder, constantly shoved in. Arya rotating down to pair up with Steel. Looks like we might just get a 2v2 in the jungle.
Sounds like Smolder ult coming out tied very low.
This
Actually
is
forced
bad.
to flash. The 665's found his way onto Steel, who is going to quickly jump away. Magical Journey now coming out, but it's the knock up onto Harp, and Harp all of a sudden isn't feeling so safe. In fact, he's taken out. Tide picking up that one with the piercing arrow. And running away will be the side of DFM, so traded back.
นี่บาทนี้เหมือนผิดคิวเลยนะ หรือเปล่ามันอยู่ๆไปให้เขาลุ่มหรือว่ากดสกิลผิด
DCG, they were flanking in a 3v4 essentially because Tide got chunked out so low. But Harp with a very ambitious magical journey. Xin goes on him, and you can't trade back any damage onto this Xin.
You had that knock up ready. This is what happened though. What happened to Tide? Just
gets 6 and
just auto attack from me.
Nice dodge from Udapon. Flashes onto Tide, doesn't quite connect with the ulti, and if he got that Q off, Tide was definitely going down. So Udapon ends up losing his flash, and this magical journey was a bit ambitious. I think you can let the Ahri engage this play.
อ๋อโดนคาม่าแมนท่าแมนท่า W ใส่แมนท่า W ของคาม่านี่คือแบบรูทได้แบบโคตรนานอ่ะ
In that 1v1 in the first place.
2k gold advantage.
นึกว่าโดนวารัสชาร์จยิงจบเขา
Yeah, pressure
Delay.
in every lane.
Yeah, they need to delay something for the Smolder. We've said it all series long, but it just is the truth.
Yeah, they have opted for it.
6 Void Grubs now is going to be the pickup for DCG, and still 2 minutes left.
โอ้นี่ขนาดเกม 5 ยังแบบไม่น่าเชื่อว่าเล่นมาถึงเกม 5 เพราะว่าเหมือนฝั่ง DCG ยำอยู่ฝ่ายเดียวเลย
Favor them in the fight. Just the Thelby Varus, the Karma. Even the Zen and Ari losing flash in the mid-wave to Cruscata.
Yeah, Cruscata doesn't even flash for that.
Oh, and Steel even getting absolutely demolished there by Tide. Does get out, but costs Tide his Chain of Corruption. But you're not unhappy about that trade as Taco just takes the top tower.
Yeah, that's very unexpected. This is not how the matchup went last time. With the champion's reverse, he did get a little help from that dive, like we said, but Taco doing a much better job in this on the Cassante side of this matchup. And I mean, Ray Far
10 นาทีเฮ้ยไม่ดี11 นาทีเงินนำ 3,000
Oh, the recall for
ได้เป็นอย่างนี้ต่ออีกสักนาที14ก็น่าจะมีค่าหัวออกมาแล้วแหละ
Dash out of Cruscata.
อะไรนะบอดี้
There for Aria on this Ari, and now Steel is going to use some of this tempo to pick himself up. Part of 665's bottom jungle. At least the blue buff will be going over.
Yeah, so Arya's flash was down. Cruscata loses his flash now. Look at the gold.
Yeah, this is very concerning if you are a fan of DFM, of the LJL. But still, I mean, we've seen games like this turn around.
Yeah, look at Black Cleaver already finished for Taco. He's going to be a problem for this Cassante in the side lane.
Yeah, and he can just push in top and leave to the Dragons at this point because there's no way that Ray Faki can clear enough ground in the time that it is required.
Yeah, hanging in there. I don't think he's getting dived in the 1v1 at least. Should be fine to not die Harp.
ไม่โดน
He's going to get found. Magical Journey available and does manage to get it off in the nick of time. Should be landing that Cosmic Binding. Actually gets knocked up in time as well. Utapon, meanwhile, in the bottom lane. He does pop that ult. He clears out the minion wave. See if this Q will connect. Piercing Arrow is dodged away from. Utapon doing a great job at dodging away from those this game.
Yeah, Utapon playing well this game. Clears that wave and is kind
มังกรตัว 2 ก็ดูแล้วน่าจะปล่อย
backs there. Did use his cleanse up against the Varus ulti, so maybe a target on the next play.
Yeah, but Dragon number 2 now picked up.
Yeah, this is a very fast-paced game for DCG. We said it needs to be, and they have
อ๋อแต่ว่า CS เลนกลางเริ่มดูดีแล้ว
What their comp wants to do.
เหมือนตอนต้นเกมคาม่า CS นำนะแต่ว่าพอเล่นไปเริ่มเอลิเริ่มกลับมาแล้ว
Now going to be completed for Orca, giving him even more damage here on the Heimerdinger. And Arya, he's getting chased down. Spirit Rush is available. He's going to have to use it. In fact, he almost just goes down solo again to Cruscata on this Karma.
Yeah, suffering in this matchup. This was a first pick Ari with the Karma available, right?
Yeah. And I think it has to be said, this series almost entirely has been whatever team's mid laner performs, has just won.
Yeah.
And at least the start of this game, it is DCG and Cruscata. Obviously, Taco, probably the strongest champion on the Rift, on the Renekton right now, but...
Yeah, Cruscata definitely getting the better of Arya so far, though.
Absolutely. Chain of Corruption lands, there is no cleanse, and all of a sudden, Arya is dead in the middle lane.
Yeah, Taco's flashed onto him in the mid and killed him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Utapon dead.
Utapon does go down. Chain of Corruption obviously landing. He didn't have cleanse. He did use the flash, but 665 was there. Steel and Harp now with all to do. It's 2v3. And it looks like Tide a little bit too low on mana to really be convincing in this fight. In fact, going to burn out that flash. Nice tempered fate. Forces that one away. Tower goes down. Stun connects here onto Taco. And Ray Farkey, he should be okay to get away, but things are going bad to worse here as DCG try to stamp their ticket forward and into our playoffs stage 2.
Well played by Taco. I think that was off the upgraded Blast Cone. And yeah, Utapon no cleanse there. Means he takes so much damage from the follow-up on a Varus ulti. Then 665 is able to flash onto him and grow the lead for DCG even more.
Oh, there's Hana.
we haven't seen DFM be resilient at all, really, with these disadvantages. And they'll need to be this game. They do still...
Yeah, เงินนำ 4,500 มาแล้วโบตี้
Even the Cassante can function as a late game win con.
Yeah, and DCG fall off.
คือตอนแรกเห็นว่าเป็นเกม 5 แบบคิดว่ามันอาจจะแบบสู้กันสูสีกว่านี้อันนี้เหมือนแบบโดนยำฝ่ายเดียว
When you are up against this Cassante, because eventually this Cassante will just get to a point where he'll take a bit of damage from Cruscata and Tide and Orca, but should it ever really be enough to kill him? Not really. Nice charm lands on the 665 Magical Journey. Steel, though, he's in a lot of trouble. Going to have to use that Heartbreaker, and all of a sudden Taco, he's teleporting in from the top side. Won't be able to find all that much, but certainly more tempo now afforded to the side of DCG as they look to start up this Rift Herald. Well,
Yeah,
teleport
TP
from
on the
Arya.
Cruscata.
Cruscata does have teleport available for himself. He just has to dodge the charm. He flashes. He still gets charmed up. He does land on a lot of his abilities. And Ray Farkey's ended up under the tower. And it might just be a double kill. It's at least one, but not quite the second.
Cruscata gets about as much as you can expect out of that. Does take both
เกือบใบคู่แล้วตะกี้
ults out of these solo laners. They do get the kill onto Cruscata. I don't think it was a shutdown. And it does go over to Arya, so much needed gold for him. He can do a lot on this Arya in these team fights.
เงินนำตัวนี้ DCG ประมาณเท่าไหร่เนี่ยเกือบ 4,500 นี่ประมาณของชิ้นครึ่งมั้ง
This would be a good time to check Smolder stacks. I didn't see if we had him selected in the mid lane.
I don't know either, but
Should have at least his second evolve on the 125 stacks.
yeah, maybe not though. He was very far
No,
behind.
he doesn't even have it.
He's 117, so he basically does. 1 million wave, and he should have it.
Yeah. So maybe he's gonna have it by the time 4th Dragon rolls around.
But yeah, it'll be hard.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to have to try and find a skirmish, but it just feels like DFM can't really look for skirmishes right now.
คือตอนนี้สมมติสมมติสแต็ก225นี่ยังน่าจะเหนื่อยเลยนะ เพราะว่าแบบเงินนำแล้วของแบบเริ่มนั้นแล้วอะเริ่มห่าง
Down.
Yeah, not even going to need the Rift Shield.
Yeah, and this is gonna make his life harder. Getting stacks. A lot less
Okay,
safety.
we've got a Drifter. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, there's nowhere he can go. He's just crashing into a wall. 180? No, he's just taking the Herald Express down to the bot lane.
Ray Farkey still doesn't have his first item at 17 minutes 30.
แต่ว่าเวลาแข่งเห็นเขาไม่ชอบแบบนั้นนะดันลิฟต์แบบนี้แหละเหมือนพาลิฟต์เปลี่ยนเลยนะคุณผู้ฟัง
Misses Arya with that Spirit Rush.
Oh.
Actually finding considerable amount of damage onto Taco.
Yeah, no Ari ult now for this dragon. No flash on the Bard.
Heartbreaker used here from Steel, and he's getting
คือตอนนี้คาม่าโคตรแรงอะ
5 can get in range, and Flash gonna have to be committed, and even one more Mantricure for good luck, but it's not quite gonna have the damage of 20 HP.
Yeah,
That's all Steel had left.
Almost goes down to Scorch, but is very mobile on the Viego, does manage to get away. Meanwhile, the rest of his team are just doing the dragon and taking a tier 2 turret. Finally, first item.
เปิดตอนเอาบาลอนนี่แบบน่าจะเอาฟรีเลยมั้ง
And things are looking bad, but Udapon, I mean, if you are a DFM fan, Udapon is the man. You have to have a lot of faith in Arya as well. If you can find an important charm, if that charm lands onto Cruscata, lands onto Tide, lands onto Orca, they might just have their way to find in a team fight. We saw it last game. DCG, they were further behind than this and still clawing team fight win after team fight win.
Yeah, Udapon is also level 11. Has just maintained that 20 CS deficit he found himself at very early.
Yeah, and importantly, I guess this is a Kimtech Soul, not the most impactful.
คือตอนนี้ DFM ยังไม่ได้เทอร์เรตสักอันเลยนะ
At which point, for sure, Udapon will have his stacks available.
คือต้องไปเช็คว่าเลือดเทอร์เรตของ DCG ลด
In fact, you're not even going to need it as Harp, Ray Farkey, everyone's on the back line. Cruscata somehow living. Won't be for long, though, as an all-out comes through from Ray Farkey and DFM. They've found a shutdown. Tempered Fate, double flash out of Tide and Orca are going to be able to survive, but the 2 kills, Cruscata, 665, they are going to go down.
How did Arya even survive? I thought he was going down for sure, and they would trade the kill for Cruscata, but he managed
เฮ้ยของตามอยู่ๆไฟชนะเฉยอะ
the Varus Q. Ends up losing his flash along with Orca's. Massive fight for DFM to win while their Smolder just sits in the mid lane farming up, right?
Absolutely.
So I want to see how Arya managed to survive. He uses his ulti here without charm up, so I thought this was going to be a very scuffed go, but somehow Harp is behind Kriskata. I don't think Kriskata was expecting that either. How does Arya live here? It's Ray Farkey peeling him, actually. And watch this Varus Q that's about to come in. Actually, Yudapon did rotate.
เหมือนคาม่าโดนจับตายไปก่อนแบบนั่นนะก่อนที่เพื่อนจะมาถึง
Manages to live a couple kills across the board for DFM. Definitely does.
แต่ว่าถึงชนะไฟกันก็ยังตามประมาณ 5,000 นะ
Makes them a bit stronger for contesting the soul if they do decide to contest it.
Small to 150 stacks. Definitely not going to have it in
Yeah, no
time.
way.
But I think the biggest problem maybe is that there's just no towers gone down for DFM, and so DCG just have so much map control. The vision that they're able to acquire ahead of objectives is just so much superior to that of DFM, which is always going to make it hard. Yudapon is always going to have to be so careful.
Yeah.
One wrong move and all of a sudden chain of corruption. Yes, you have the cleanse, but there still could be enough follow-up after that you aren't able to cleanse. That maybe it's just enough. And
DCG just hitting the Baron.
they are. They don't have the most damage. It's only tied on the lethality, Varus and the Xin Zhao. Tempered Fate coming through. Arya is in the middle. He's found so much damage here. And Steel's going to get a reset. That's Tide going down. Yudapon, he's going to get taken out by Taco. It's now a 3v4, but Taco is undying. The shields from Kriskata keeping everyone alive. 665, 1 HP. He's got nowhere to go. Steel will get himself yet another reset, but Taco, once again, is just so strong on this Renekton. 3 for 3 was it?
เฮ้ยตอนแรกคิดว่าแบบ DFM ชนะไปนะคุณผู้ฟังไปมาอยู่ๆงงเลยเสมอเฉย
Early in that team fight, and this Karma got so much value.
เพราะเมื่อกี้เหมือนเราเริ่มไฟอ่ะDFM เก็บไป2แล้วนะ
And yeah, it's kind of Kriskata and Taco finding their way onto Yudapon to make this fight very difficult for DFM. Yudapon can't get away from the Karma. His E is down, greets his flash. And Taco's able to flash after him and finish him, and the fight looks to be going okay, but look at all the shields and healing coming through onto the Xin. Lets him live for so long. An earlier reset for this Arya and this Viego, the fight maybe looks different.
For sure.
No Baron at least going over to DC.
อ๋อเหมือนไอ้นั่นอะไรนะเล็กด้านแฟดใส่หน้าตัวสโมเดอร์คือสเต็ปแฟดสตันใส่หน้าแล้วก็เกิดใหม่
The last game, but the roles are reversed.
Yeah. Definitely the scaling favoring DFM.
Oh, yeah.
But that fight, even though the fight was close, it wasn't the kind of fight you want for your Smolder, right? You want him to be safe and landing some of these Qs, but goes down and loses both.
เพราะเหมือนไฟเมื่อกี้ไอ้สโมเดอร์นี่แทบไม่ได้รีดเดเมจนะคุณผู้ฟังเพราะว่าโดนเลเน็กนั่นน่ะสอยไปก่อน
Aggressively towards the Baron, but even if they do so, I don't think they really have the autonomy to do it. I think just setting the Varus Karma up there, you're not going to ever be able to do it, and this Xin Zhao will quite happily solo a dragon. Taco, though, he's 1v4. Teleport coming through from Kriskata is going to help out a lot, and Taco actually going aggressive. Kriskata being looked at in a massive chunk from that empowered Q as Ray Farkey is so low. Taco is still going forward. He's healing up his entire health bar with each Cull the Meek. All of a sudden, though, it's Kriskata getting hit by that Natofu strikes, and it is going to be another shutdown going over to the side of DFM. Somehow, some way, Taco does manage to get out of there with that slice and dice. It's still 5 members up here, though. This Dragon Soul will be going down. Will that help Taco survive? Sterix coming through. But he's not going to go down without a fight as he's still alive. Viego going to get executed, and through will come Yudapon picking up that kill. It's another shutdown for DFM, but it's not all for naught as now Tide arriving to this fight eventually. Ray Farkey with the Pathfinder may be able to get himself out. He's dodging out of that piercing arrow. Maybe he can look for the turn. Tide hit by another Natofu strike. Rain of arrows going to land, and Ray Farkey so low eventually will be fouled.
Yeah, buys a lot of time, but this might just be DCG looking at the Baron. They do have a deceptively fast Baron with the Heimer. Taco is just 1v5 in that fight.
เหมือน DFM ได้กำไรก่อนนิดนึงเพราะว่าแบบได้ค่าหัวอะไรอ๋อไม่ละถ้าเสียบอลลอนคือไม่ละ
Big shutdown that Yudapon was able to pick up, and now I want to see his stacks. Hopefully we get the opportunity to, but it's going to be this Baron at least for now.
I don't think he's close with his stacks at all.
Maybe not. Half HP now on
อันนี้ยากอยู่นะ4 ต่อ
5k HP. We're going down to 4. Steel is on the outskirts of this pit. He's going to have his way. He's going to easily be able to get into this pit. He's been seen, and damage on the Baron has been ceased. Steel, there's an empowered blast cone. He's going to actually hit it. He's going to get into the pit, and the Steel, no, it's not going to come through. It's 665 who takes it. Ray Farkey though with the all out onto Cascada. He's not going to have the damage. The Pathmaker, all this damage back. Then Atofu strikes 3, but he's not.
นิดเดียวอ่ะตะกี้ถ้าเกิด
Unipon does trade back some gold in the mid lane. It's the first tower.
ถ้าสมมติบาทอติช้ากว่านี้อีกนิดนึงนะอาจจะเวียโก้อาจจะได้บาลอนคุณผู้ฟัง
And just so much strength.
เพราะว่าบาทปาอันติใส่ไอ้ซิงเฉาอะ
5, so
แต่ว่าเลือดบาลอนมันเหลือเยอะไงเวียโก้เลยสมัยไม่ได้นิดเดียว
out of 665 manages to win a very honorable flip on that Baron, which might be what's attributing to this really high Baron percentage for D.
แต่ว่าตอนนี้ถ้า DCG ไม่เล่นพลาดจริงๆนี่ DFM อ่ะน่าจะเหนื่อยอ่ะว่าแบบเงินตามขนาดนี้ไฟตรงๆสู้ยาก
Yeah.
DFM, they are strong. They are now certainly within chance of getting this.
And Arya
Cross the
uses
line.
his ult so early to not much effect in this fight means that DFM decide that they are just going to flip it for the dragon, but this TP was very ambitious from Ray Farkey. Wow.
นิดเดียว
12-21 on the Baron HP is ridiculous. It must have been a Zen auto plus smite that finished it.
I didn't realize it, but Tempered Fate landed onto 665.
แล้วตอนนี้คือเอดีสกิลใส่คาม่านี่ขนาดชามตัวเลือดยังแทบไม่ลดเลย
Heartbreaker. It was able to be smited by 665, and
Unipon's
all of
dead.
a sudden Unipon has been found.
น่าจะแยกย้ายแล้ว
Mikhail's Crucible going to be used there to get himself out, but Heartbreaker down. There's no Unipon. Arya is the only damage you have left. Even Harp, he's going to use that exhaust onto Taco, but the piercing arrow connects.
เอาจบเลยเนี่ย
Minions, Chain of Corruption does go wide, and Arya trying to find his way onto Tide will get stunned up, and Taco, he's not going to deal with it. He's just going to jump into your face as Arya doesn't mean anything.
น่าจะแยกย้าย
Games, but they're going to stamp their ticket into the second round of the PCS Spring Play.
เรียบร้อย ก็คือ DFM น่าก็คือ DFM ก็จะไม่ได้เข้าไม่ได้เล่น MSI ปีนี้อ่ะถ้าตามนี้นะคุณผู้ฟังเรียบร้อย
Smolder win condition versus DCG trying to figure